Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 PM Pacific time in the United States, which is 10 AM in Australia or 1 AM if you're in the UK. Do remember though, if you miss the live streams, you can always catch up with the premiere event streams on a Friday and Saturday at 2 PM Pacific time in the US, which is 7 AM in Australia or 10 PM if you're in the UK. Smurfberg Barbecue, it's good to see you, buddy. How are you? Yes, so there we go. Remember, as always, guys, if you've got any questions, please feel free to pop into chat and ask me. If you just want to pop in and say hello, that's always welcome. But if all you want to do is watch, then that's fine. You're fine. That's good to hear, Smurfberry. Always good to hear when you guys are doing well. Okay. Android Lust, hey, it's good to see you, Android Lust. Hope you're well as well. You guys. So what are we doing? That's right. We're working on the Temple of the Winds. It's a 3D model we're creating in 3D Studio Max that we're going to be doing beauty renders of in Eon View. So once we've finished the modeling stage, once we've finished the texturing stage, then we'll take the model into Eon View and create a 3D environment for it and render our beauty shots in that program. We're doing the texturing in Substance Painter and in Mari. Just a couple of textures, a couple of objects we'll take into Mari to do an overpaint on. You're well, good to hear. Smurfberry. Do remember too, guys, to join the Phil Does 3D Discord server if you haven't already. You can always get an invite link by clicking the blue graphic below my stream, in the panels below my stream. Sniper Girl, it's good to see you too. It's always good to see you guys so early into chat. Good to see. And I was just reading a message that Sniper Echo posted on the Discord about having some stuff ready to show hopefully soon that he's been working on. And that he might even actually finally open up an ArtStation account, which is always a good thing. Listen, I can't talk. It took me, I only opened my ArtStation account, you know, maybe at the beginning of this year, I think it was. Wasn't that long ago. I didn't have one until all this time, so I can't preach. But it is good to have an ArtStation account. And do remember too, if you do join the Discord server and you have an ArtStation or a portfolio link or anything like that, you can always post the link in the folios and demo reels subsection in the Discord. So don't do it in the main chat. Do it in the right chat channel. Yeah, I don't know if Sniper's actually in chat. He was in Discord. He's in Discord though. I'm doing well though. Thanks for asking, Sniper Girl, and everybody else. Like I said, everything's going good with my friend. He's coming along very nicely, healing up very nicely, so that's all good. Just let me see what's going on over here. So yes, let me just pull Max open so you got something to stare at and not my screensaver going on there. Well, it's not my screensaver, my background. So this is the Temple of the Winds we're working on. Now, you guys know I have to start working on the game level, the House in the Hollow. So what we're probably going to end up doing is we'll get as much of the texturing done as we can on this today. Then we'll pause this project. So next week's streams we'll be working on the House in the Hollow in UE4, Unreal Engine 4, doing some optimization stuff. And then we'll jump back into this to finish it off and do the beauty renders. So that's the plan. We'll see how we go. It's great to hear. Thanks, Sniper Girl. So yeah, so that's the plan. That's what I'm planning on doing. We'll see how it all pans out. Sniper Girl says, to be honest, this project will never be done. It will be done. You say that about every project. Yeah, I do. And have I ever not finished my projects? Have I ever? You know, everything we've worked on stream, it has been completed. So that's not fair. Mr. Squarepeg. Hello, Mr. Squarepeg. It's good to see you. Hope you're well. Mr. Squarepeg. Like 2 years later, Sniper Girl says, yeah, well, I didn't say it would be done immediately. I just said it would be done eventually. And I like to take my time, you know. These streams with you guys on Twitch are me being able to take my time and enjoy what I do, as opposed to when I'm working, when I'm doing stuff with the studio where I'm under a tight deadline and I've got to get it done by a certain date. I like to take my time. It's an enjoyable thing. This is my R&R time when I'm streaming on Twitch. So you can all just wait. And you're going to get a slap in a minute, Sniper Girl, if you're not careful. You'll get a fill slap. Android Lust says, hey, Mrs. Scopehead. Smurfberry Barbecue says, never finished that bathroom project. Yes, I never finished the kitchen and never finished the bathroom. But that's something we're going to be doing when we jump back in full time into the House on the Hollow. We will be creating a bathroom and creating a kitchen. And I may even put an outhouse somewhere in the forest there. We'll see how we go. If I can work it into the gameplay somehow. You're doing good, Mr. Squarepeg? Good to hear. Sniper Girl says, and the one guy has been shitting in the woods for a while due to no bathroom. Actually, I'm still trying to work out whether I'm going to put skeletons or anything in the game. Or I'm just going to sort of like hint at the fact that people have been trapped there before and have never escaped. I don't know. I'm still trying to sort all that sort of stuff out. I don't know, it can just be a big hackney sometimes to have skeletons. It reminds me too much of the Fallout games. You know how you've got skeletons in that game everywhere. I mean, it suits the narrative of Fallout, but you know what I mean. It's hard to avoid some of those tropes sometimes because they're in so many games. But you are right. One guy has been shitting in the woods for quite a long time, Sniper Girl. Galen, it's good to see you, Galen Belly. How are you? Sniper Girl says, I didn't even notice that you put that. Android Lust says, hey Galen. Smurfberry says, actually an Art Deco bathroom and kitchen will probably be quite cool. Hopefully, yeah. Because it is a deco-y building. We're calling it a period building because it's not traditional deco. But I have furnished it in deco pieces. So, yeah, we'll have like a deco-y bathroom and a deco-y kitchen. I'm still deciding with the kitchen whether we'll make it stainless steel or wood. I don't actually know if they had stainless steel back then. No, I think they did actually. So anyway, we'll make those design decisions when we come to actually do the kitchen. But the bathroom will be Art Deco. Got to keep it all consistent. Smurfberry says little white tiles everywhere like a mosaic. Maybe. Black and white tiles always look cool. Smurfberry says less Fallout, more Evil Dead. Yeah, that's right. Galen says still on slow melt. Okay. You poor guys, I know. Like I said, I know what it's like to be in a hot climate because I lived through it in December when we were in summer. It was terrible. I'm so glad we're in winter at the moment. Mr. Squarepeg says you should check out Blender 2.8. It's got 1.2 million from Epic Games. I know, there was a guy, somebody popped into chat yesterday and mentioned that. And actually even put a link in the Discord server talking about the announcement, which is very cool and very good of Epic Games to do that, to give the Blender Foundation 1.2 million. Should help with the development. And again, Blender, for anyone that doesn't know, is completely free 3D software. I'm using 3D Studio Max here, but you can download and use Blender free of charge. Do remember too, though, sorry, I'm getting away from my mic here. Do remember too, though, that if you do want to use Max or Maya and you're a student, Autodesk give you a free 3-year license to use the software. Now, you can't create anything commercially with it. But it's fully functional, just like the normal versions, and it's free for 3 years if you're a student. So you need a student email account. Just wanted to mention that because not everybody knows about it. Autodesk don't make a big song and dance about it, but it is available. So that goes for other software as well by Autodesk, not just Maya or Max. There's a whole range of different software that they give students a license for free for 3 years on. Galen says tile and ceramic. That's right. Well, in the House on the Hollow, you know the stairs and stuff. We've got quite a bit of tile work going on there as well. Deco-y sort of tile work. Smurfberry says that donation's pretty damn cool of Epic to do. I think it is too. I think Epic Games should be, should be applauded for doing that. I think it's a great thing. Mr. Squarepeg says that might have been me. It might have been you. I can tell you who exactly it was because I'm going to look through the Discord here find the post. No, it was Galen that posted it yesterday in Discord. On the Discord server, talking about the Blender donation. So yeah, don't post any links in my Twitch chat unless you're a sub to my channel, and you'll get timed out. But that's why the Discord is there, because everyone can post links to stuff in Discord. Galen says, happy 50th anniversary of Apollo 11. That's right, the moon landing. 50 years. Can you believe that? 50 years. We haven't been back to the moon for 50 years. Aren't we supposed to be going back in 2022? Haven't they got a mission planned then, I think? Smurfberry says, I like that they're referring to it as the Professionalizing Blender Development Initiative. That's a bit rude. I didn't know they were calling it that. Professionalizing Blender Development Initiative. Yeah. Oh well. They can call it whatever they want. They're giving you $1.2 million. Sniper Girl says, yep, and after 3 years you can continue to download the student version due to they never cancel the account. Well, again, I don't know about... I'm not advocating you guys try and game the system. That's something you guys... That's for you. But regardless, it's still very decent of Autodesk to do that for students. Because it's expensive software, guys. If you're going to buy Max or Maya, it's quite expensive. Well, you can't buy it anymore. You got to rent it now, like Autodesk, Adobe stuff. But it's still expensive. So to give away a three-year license for nothing, if you're a student or a teacher, is very cool. And UE4, I mean, that engine used to cost millions of dollars. Trust me, I know, because I was working in games development back when UE4 was around. Back when Unreal was around, not UE4. And yeah, I know what the licensing costs were. They were huge. I mean, fair enough, because there's a lot of development goes into a game engine, but now it's free. You know, you can download it, use it for free. If you make anything commercially, then you've got to pay a percentage to Epic Games of sales, which is quite reasonable. I think it's about 5%, unless they've changed it. Last time I looked, it was about 5%. And just to give you a comparison, I sell my 3D models online on the Creative Market and on ArtStation on my own website. And on Creative Market and ArtStation, they take a 30% cut. So a 5% cut is not too bad. To get an engine that's been so developed for so long, after so many years, for a 5% cut, I think it's pretty decent. Smurfberry says it's got great potential to be a major competitor if they polish it and embrace pro users. I agree, because everybody, I'm constantly on the Autodesk forums because I'm a Max user and I like to find out. I go to forums to read up if anyone else is having problems, because you guys know I'm using Max 2020 and it has a few problems compared to the version I was using, which was 2018. Problems with UVs when you're mirroring stuff, or when you're copying meshes. It's got a few problems, and I actually did an update 1 to Max a couple of days ago. They released update 1 about 4 weeks ago. It just took me a little while to actually realize and download it. I've noticed since I've installed that Max 2020 has been sluggish. It's weird. I don't know. There's something going on. I don't know if it's the new Windows build 1903 that's doing something, but Max just feels a bit sluggish. Anyway, so it's always good to have another 3D program that could compete. Edo, it's good to see you, Edo. Sorry, it takes me a while to catch up with the chat here, but hey, how are you, Edo? Hope you're well. And it's good to see you. Android Lust says, hi, Edo. Galen says 2.8 is definitely more polished user interface. Good to hear. We all like a good, nice, clean user interface. ZBrush. Which is not good or clean. Sniper Girl says, I'm all for gaming. I'm all for gaming all systems. Okay. I'm not passing judgments. I'm not passing any judgments. I'm just, I can't advocate gaming a system because, you know, I'm a broadcaster and I have to say that to you guys. Don't game the system. Smurfberry says, just waiting for the 2.8 full release and for someone to portabilize it so I can start poking around with it. Why do you want the portable version? I've never understood that. A lot of people like to run a portable version of software. Just install it. What's the problem? I mean, yeah. Or are you talking about a version that's a bit lighter that you can use on the go, maybe? Sniper Girl says, as long as it's a grey area. Well, listen, if they allow it, then, you know, it's not like you're doing anything wrong, I guess. If they're allowing it, then. I think Autodesk do that, though, because they want... We've spoken about this before. It's in Autodesk's interest to get students to learn their software, because then they go to work for studios and they will use their software. So, you know, it's in Autodesk's interest to give students a free license to learn on, because it then encourages other studios to purchase the software, because that's what the students have learnt, you know? So in the long run, Autodesk win. Sniper Girl says, remember when UE4 came out? It was $20. I do remember, yeah, it was $20 a month when UE4 first came out. But even that's pretty good. I mean, if you want to use SpeedTree, which I use, that you can subscribe for $20 a month to that as well. If you want to create speed trees and bring them into UE4, that's still $20 a month, I think. But yeah, I do remember when it was $20 a month, but it's free now. You can download it for free. You don't have to spend $20 a month. Again, though, I think I remember. I'm pretty sure they had a deal going with. I can't remember the name of the educational site now, but or it was like a GitHub thing, where if you were a student, they gave you 12 months for free of the UE4 engine, even when they were charging $20 a month. But now it's completely free anyway. Sorry, Edo, I didn't ignore you, Edo. It just takes me a little while to catch up with the chat. I'm sorry, Edo. Mr. Squarepeg says portable versions are nice. I don't use any portable versions. I don't really understand why you want to use a portable version. I mean, maybe I know you don't have to install a portable version, so maybe. But what's wrong with installing software? You don't like it, you uninstall it. Smokery says portable is portable. I can copy one folder and have the entire program available from any location on any computer. Well, that is true, because you don't have to install it. You can copy it around. That's for sure. Edo says, I'm good. It feels good to work in the... I'm sure it does, Edo. That's awesome. It's always good to actually land a job in the industry. And congratulations. Are you enjoying it? You having a good time? They're not working you too hard, are they? Smokeberry says, installing stuff spews crap all over the hard drive and the registry. That's true. Backing up your preferences is a pain. That's true. If I could never install software, I'd be happy. Yeah, well, that's, you know, they'll never do that, because that's the way that they can check that you actually, you know, they run all the registration crap and all that rubbish. By making you install it, they can check that you've got a registered copy and all that rubbish. Well, it's not rubbish, but you know. Smokeberry says it's also much easier to version control what you've installed. Mr. Squarepeg says GitHub Education Pack at Builders 3 is what you're... Yeah, that's the one, Mr. Squarepeg. Yes, the GitHub Education Pack. So yeah, Epic Games used to give 12 months free access if you're a student when they were charging $20 a month. Now it's free for everybody. That is what I was thinking of, Mr. Squarepeg. Thank you. Smokeberry says uninstalls are often imperfect and leave stuff behind, like broken registry keys. That's very true, particularly Windows. Smokeberry says in temp files and folders that can get deleted. Very true. Edo says I turned into a visual effects artist. Well, there you go. That's what I love about the 3D industry. You can, or the design industry, if you will. You know, you can work in a range of industries. As a 3D person, I've worked in games development, I've worked in film, I work in ArtsViz now, but I used to work in design as well, like for, it wasn't an advertising company, it was like a graphic design company. Even they need 3D people, so such a broad range. Visual effects, you can get into animation, such a range of different job roles that you can go into. I was a technical artist, I still am a bit of a technical artist now actually at the studio, but yeah, all these different roles regarding 3D and games and film and ArtsViz. But it's good to hear, Edo. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm assuming you are. And they're not working you too hard. Mr. Squarepeg says, on the topic of portable versions, it does not pollute the registry as much as my computer runs faster. Well, that's true. I get that. I know that the registry thing is a real problem with Microsoft Windows. Yeah. Sniper Girl says, I had no idea. Back when I was a student, I paid 20 a month. No, you shouldn't have. I know it can be hard to keep up with all these deals and stuff that the different companies offer at different times. So that's understandable. You're forgiven. It's free for everyone now, so you don't have to worry about it. I guess I should do some work and less chatting, shouldn't I? Sniper Girl says this is not Phil Does Chat, this is Phil Does 3D, so we do want to get some texturing done. Mr. Squarepeg says to Edo, check out Django FX, they make awesome tools. Smurpery says, so in short, installing stuff is messy and not user-friendly. When you're using multiple systems and running backups, portable apps solve all of that. They're clean, self-contained with one folder, as all software should be. And Sniper Girl says, you've proven that it's Phil does just chat. It's what you do most streams. Apparently Blender runs on Chromebook, Mr. Squarepeg says. Oh, there you go. That's pretty cool, because Chromebook's pretty low spec. Leave me alone. You guys leave me alone. I like chatting. This is my time on Twitch and I can do what I want. It's fun to chat to you guys. That's one of the reasons I'm on Twitch, actually. You guys, I've said this to you guys before. I want to encourage you guys to do 3D. But my enjoyment of Twitch is actually chatting to you guys, more so than doing stuff. I should move into just chatting, shouldn't I? I see Head Clock. You posted something in Discord. What is this? Oh, talking about Blender working on the Chromebook. Okay, cool. I'm assuming that's you, Mr. Squarepeg. I always get confused between your usernames because I know some, you know, you don't keep a consistent username across Discord and Twitch, and there are reasons for that, I know. That's you? Yeah, okay, cool. I thought it was. Sniper Girl says, I know, honestly, I love chatting too. Just joking. I know you're joking. I know you're joking. Okay, so yesterday we were going to texture this up. I took it into Substance Painter, and I decided I didn't like the UV mapping, so we took it into Rism, UV mapped it, and now we're going to send it back over to Substance Painter. That's what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to open up this plugin. It's going to complain the first time, it always does. I'm just going to go no. I should have said yes. I didn't realize, it didn't complain, which surprises me. I don't know why. Normally it's a permissions thing, it always complains. I'm just going to do that again because I just don't trust what's going on here. Just going to discard and I'm going to send it back over one more time. Just to be sure. Actually, because yeah, speaking of Max, I see how I get off topic so quickly. I updated to update 1 of Max 2020 a couple of days ago, and I opened Max this morning. I was doing some stuff, just setting things up before the stream. Max crashed 3 times this morning, and that's only happened since the update. So maybe there's a problem with the update. Just putting that out there. If you're a Max user and you have updated to update 1 of 2020, Max has been crashing a little bit more than normal. Sniper Girl says, can I get a Phil slap? You used to be abusing your mods and not sure I can go a stream without one. You can get a Phil slap right now. There's your Phil slap. Just for you, Sniper Girl. Did Android Lust give you a Phil slap as well? Did that work for you, Android Lust? I just want to make sure everything's set up correctly still properly, because I mean Windows updates and all this sort of stuff have to, you never know. But yeah, it worked cool, yep. As a subscriber you can set off those animations yourselves. Or if you're a mod you can do them as well, but the commands are a little bit different. Abuse, that's right, abuse, Sniper Girl. Time to use Maya, and Android Lust is saying no. I love my Max. Max is my baby. I've told you guys. I can put up with it crashing occasionally, and it is occasional. This is the first time in ages Max has been crashing that often. 3 times pretty much in a row. Maybe it was something I was doing that was causing the problem, who knows. Not that I was doing anything unusual when I was working with Max, but hey. Who knows? Okay, now we've actually created some smart materials we're going to reuse. So I'm just going to filter by mic so I can find the ones that I made, and we're going to use... No, we don't want the railing. We want the moss stone. We're going to put that on the top. So this smart material I created has, I think, 3 or 4 different material layers and smart masks. So if I zoom in here, you can see I've created 2 stone textures and a moss texture that sits over the top of it. I might just pull back a little bit on the moss, I think. But actually, let's check our UVs. So, unlike yesterday, where we were getting that, we were seeing our UV seams. We're not seeing any seams now because we redid the UV. But I am going to pull back a bit on the moss. So I'm going to pull up a bit on the grunge. No, I haven't added a dirt layer to this, which is interesting. Why did I not add a dirt layer to this? I've toned back on the moss colour as well because the original colour is a vibrant lime green, which I really don't like. I like things to be a bit more subtle. Less in your face. Let's see, is there anything else we can change here? Again, if I pull back on the curvature and we look toward the bottom here, it's removing the moss from the bottom, pushing it more to the top. If I pull up on the curvature, it brings back the moss. I don't want to remove all the moss. I want a bit of moss down here as well. What else do we have here? World space normal. I don't think that's really going to do much for us. We've removed the scratches. I don't want to play with the scatter. I'm just trying to. I don't want it to be like full on moss. I want it to be a little bit more subtle, so I'm just going to pull back on the level a little bit. I'm just trying to work out whether I want to put a dirt layer down or not. I don't know if it really needs it. The stone is quite brown in some spots anyway. Yeah, I don't know if it really needs a dirt layer, to be honest. Let's move on and I'll come back and decide in a minute. So the next one we want are the columns, which will be small columns, this one here. We'll just wait for the shader to be compiled. Come on, you can do it, algorithmic substance. Come on, come on. I think I threw it on the wrong layer. I did. Okay. Let us just... Hang on. No, I don't think I did throw it on the wrong layer. Let me see what's going on here. Small columns. Okay, we're in the right texture. Let's throw it down. There we go. Okay. And again, this is another smart material we made, which just has a few different layers. This one actually does have a dirt layer on top for our columns. And last but not least, we want the bases, which we'll be using... Did I not make a smart material? Oh yeah, no, it's one of these two. We've got two to choose from. I made two versions. Let's just pull this one in. But just before I do that, let me make sure I'm in the right layer here. Column bases. It's just taking Substance a little while. I might do a restart of my machine after the stream. That could be the problem, because I mean, I generally don't. I don't put my computer into sleep mode, but Microsoft Windows now doesn't completely shut down like it used to, because the fast start or whatever they call it is turned on. So I might just do a complete restart of my machine, because I did install some cumulative updates for Windows the other day. So what's my working resolution, Smurfberry is asking? 4K. I'm working, I don't know if you can see it up here, but I'm working in 4K at the moment. Yeah, Smurfberry says you can turn fast boot off. Yeah, I know you can, and you probably should with SSDs, and I'm using an NVMe SSD. You don't really need fast boot anymore. That's really for hard drives more than anything. So it probably would be a good idea for me to turn fast boot off. Fast boot is for plebs, Smurfberry says. You are probably right. I'm a pleb. It's just I've just never bothered to turn it back off again when I reinstall Windows, the new version 1903. I think sometimes Windows turns it back on automatically when you do a major update. You know, one of their twice yearly major updates. Microsoft has a tendency to re-enable stuff you've disabled, like privacy settings. And I think Fast Startup is one of those as well. So I've just never turned it back off again. So yeah, I think I'll do that after the stream. I'll just reboot my machine, make sure it does a clean reboot. But like I said, I don't use sleep mode or anything like that when I shut my computer down. But because Fast Startup is turned on, it doesn't completely shut down. It does save some stuff to memory, like sleep does. So it's supposed to boot up more quickly. But my PC boots up in seconds anyway, so it's really not needed. Now the top. I just want to decide whether I want to add a dirt layer. We can put one on, and if we don't like it, we can remove it. No big deal. So let's jump back into our material. I'm just going to make these bigger so I can see them a little bit better, and you guys can see them a little bit better. And let me find a dirt texture. There is one I use quite a lot, which is a mud, I think it is, from memory. Yeah, we've got these two mud substances. One is a wet mud, and one is this dry mud. I generally use the dry mud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it, jump back into the right texture here. Let me just check which one that is. No, it's not that one, which means it'll be this one. I'm just going to throw that on top of everything. Ico37, hey to you too. Thanks for your videos. Found you. Oh, well, thank you, Ico. I'm glad you found the videos. Yes, they're all on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. All of my past streams go to YouTube. I release a video on YouTube every week of my past streams of all the projects I've worked on, including the game we're going to be working on next week in UE4. It's good to see you, Ico. I'm glad you found me that way. Android Lust says, hey Ico. Smurfberry says hello. So yes, everybody's helpful and friendly. If you've got any questions, Ico, please feel free to ask in the chat. If I can help you in any way, I'm happy to try. I don't pretend to know everything, but I'm willing to give it a go. And don't forget to join the Discord server as well. The Phil Does 3D Discord server, if you want. I've just popped the chat there in the link in the chat. You can post links in Discord, but unless you're a sub, you can't post links in my Twitch chat. So if you feel that you want to, you can join Discord. Ico says, I was looking into photogrammetry and you came up. Yes, well, that's what I specialise in at the studio. I specialise in photogrammetry, so I've been doing it for quite a few years. And the guys and girls here in the chat, they do photogrammetry as well. Smurfberry Barbecue's been doing quite a bit. He's been posting stuff in the Discord. Even Sniper Girl, she's been doing photogrammetry stuff too recently, so I'm just going to change the scale on this dirt to begin with. I know it looks pretty god-awful at the moment, but we're not using it as this. We're going to be making some changes. So I just want to make sure that the scale here is correct. I'm also just going to make sure that the dirt colour is a bit darker. It's a bit too light brown for me, so I'm just going to darken it up. Again, I'm just waiting for substance to catch up a bit. There we go, that should be good. I'm going to turn off the height information and the normal information because I don't want that. I just want it to be like a dirt texture. Sniper Girl says, everybody but me, I'm a complete ass. Your photogrammetry stuff's been very good, Sniper Girl. Sniper says, we love photogrammetry here, we do. And also do photogrammetry, they do. So if you've got any questions or if you just want to check out some of their work, jump on the Discord. I'm going to add a smart mask now to this, so let's find a good smart mask here. Let's use the dirt dry, let's see what that one gives us. Come on, there we go. I'm going to select the mask and we'll start making a couple of adjustments now. Let's just zoom in a little bit so we get a better view. Okay, let's look at the balance. So if I turn the balance down, we remove the dirt. If I pull the balance up, we add more dirt. You can see it happening through here, through the crevices actually, mainly. We can play with that texture blending a little bit. So if I pull down on the texture blending, we're removing. If I pull up on it, we're adding. You can see it through here. I don't want to add it too much though, because otherwise it's going to start to make it look a bit brown. So I'm just going to pull back a little bit. I'm not going to play with texture too because that will remove the underlying texture and I don't want that. Ambient occlusion is right up. We can play with curvature and see what that gets us. Pulling back on the curvature will remove the dirt. Mainly, you can probably see it through here. If you look through there while I play with my slider. So if I pull the curvature up, it's adding more dirt. The world space normal will just move the texture around, which is not really, I don't care about that. Position gradient, we can have a look at that. And again, if I pull up on the position gradient, we're adding more dirt overall. And again, I don't want to add too much because I don't want to turn it too brown. To get an idea of what our dirt is actually doing, we can turn the layer on and off. So no dirt, dirt. I'm just going to darken the dirt colour up a bit more. It's still a bit too brown. It should be better. So, no dirt, dirt. Now, it is cutting our moss a little bit. That's not too bad though. I mean, again, I don't want the moss to be too overpowering as far as the texture goes on this, so. Galen says, lewd playing with your slider on stream. That's right, I love to play with my slider. You never play with your slider too much. Sniper Gus says to Galen, then was playing with it on stream too. I know, I'm shameless, aren't I? I'm playing with my slider on stream all the time. Shameless. Android Lost says he likes it dirty, that's right. I like it dirty. Not too clean, but dirty. You guys, get your minds out of the gutter. I think that should be okay. I don't want to pull up on any more dirt. I don't want to make it too brown. It is cutting out a little bit of the moss. I could pull up on the moss if I wanted to bring more of it in, but I don't. I think that should be fine. We could even add some moss actually to the columns if we wanted to. Do we want to? Or to the bases maybe? Let's have a look. Sniper Girl says, do you have to play with it with girls watching? And Sniper Girl says, what you guys do between you is just not with us, just not with us watching. I'm just going to copy this layer, which is the moss layer with the smart mask. And let's find the base columns, which is this one here. Actually, I might not... I was going to say I might not add it to the bases here because these bases are already quite detailed. The texturing of the tile work is already quite detailed. I don't know if I really want to start covering it up with moss. But you can see what the moss has done here. Again, I'm just waiting for substance here to catch up to me. I'm too fast for it. Come on. Get your act together. Don't you crash. Don't you crash on me. Oh, I am pushing it. I'm using it. Oh, the substance crashed. Why didn't I do a save? I'm wondering whether it's my PC might need restarting. Anyway, let's do that again, shall we? The smart materials that have already been created, it's not a lot of work that we've lost, so it's not a big deal. Apart from the dirt layer, we didn't really do anything new. Sounds like substance abuse, Galen says. Oh, man. I knew I was pushing it, throwing that moss layer down. I knew it. I knew it. Let's bake these out again. You know, you're not doing it right if it doesn't crash occasionally, I guess. Unless you're pushing that software as far as it can go, you're not doing it properly. Oh dear. I bet you it's something that an update to the operating system that needs a clean reboot that's causing these problems, because Max, like I said, was crashing as well, so just too coincidental they're both crashing at the same time. Okay, let's get this redone real quick. Back into the smart materials. Just give me a sec here, my email client is going off. You know what I say, as soon as I start streaming, work starts sending me stuff or they start calling me. It seems to be the way it works, for some strange reason. I'm sure they wait on, I'm sure they're sitting in the studio watching, waiting for me to go live, and then they think, let's call him now. Let's email him now. Smart materials, let's filter by my. We are in, let's start at the very top like we did last time, this layer here. We're going to throw down our moss stone. Again, just waits for substance. There we go. The only thing we did for the moss stone was add a dirt layer, so let's do that really quick. Which was a mud. Where's my mud? Mud, this one here. Let's throw that down. And again, I'm going to turn off the height and the normal map. Just play with my scaling just a little bit. Change the color up to make it darker. Throw down a smart mask, and the smart mask was smart mask. There we go. Dirt dirty, dirt dry, I think it was the one it was called. We're going to do a save in a minute as well. I turn autosave. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, don't these programs have autosave? I turn autosave off because I don't like being interrupted when the program saves out automatically. So I turn it off. So it's my own fault, really, for turning it off and not saving manually. So, Smurfberry says, you're laughing, Smurfberry. How mean and cruel of you. Smurfberry says, through a photogrammetry tutorial that I found recently into Discord. Good stuff. There is a tutorials and tips section on Discord as well, which has a lot of really interesting tutorials and tips for you guys if you do 3D stuff that the users of the Discord server have found and posted in the tutorials and tips section. So you should check that out. And Smurfberry's just popped one in there as well. Sniper Girl, you've been doing some HDRI stuff, I see. There's a 360 texture here for a HDRI image by the look of it. She's posted in Discord. In the tips and tutorials section, a tutorial on that. So check them out. Beck, it's good to see you, Beck. How are you? You made it. You did make it. It's good to see you, Beck. Have you been well? Android Lust says, autosaves in ZBrush annoy the hell out. Yeah, I do. When any program autosaves, and you know, you're working away, you know, you're into it, you're in the groove, you're doing your work, the autosave kicks in and the program freezes. And it can freeze depending on how big the project is that it's saving. It can be anywhere from like half a second to like, 10 seconds. So I hate that. So I turn every autosave off. But you must remember to save if you turn it off. Don't be like me and forget to save. It has been so long, Beck. But I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I hope you're well. Aiko says, nice, I'll join the Discord too. Yeah, jump on the Discord. Everyone's very friendly. There's a good section of stuff that you can check out. There's sections for you to post gallery section to post your work, ArtStation if you've got an ArtStation, your portfolio, all that sort of stuff. You're free to post those links in the proper chat on the Discord server. You're good, Beck. Good to hear. Sniper Girl says, I like autosaves. Well, listen, if you forget to save, autosaves are invaluable, for sure. I mean, 3D Studio Max isn't too bad because it, if it crashes or something, it autosaves then, or it tries to anyway. Most times it's okay. It doesn't save without a problem. So even if you turn autosave off and the program does crash, Max will attempt to save a copy while it's crashing. Eon View, it does a similar sort of thing as well. If it crashes, then it will also try to save. I'm just checking here. I just want to play with my values a little bit. Play with my sliders again. Pull up a little bit, bring a little bit of dirt in. Galen says, half a second pause, I'll know the humanity. That's only if the scene is really light. If you're working on a scene like, that temple that we've got in our Max, that's much longer than half a second for a save. It can take, 10 seconds, 12, 15 seconds because the scene is quite heavy. I'm only using the best case scenario of half a second if it's a light scene. And let's face it, we don't create light scenes. We go full bore on everything we do, don't we? Or at least I do. So it takes much longer than half a second. Beck says, I forgot to save till I'm... Yeah, well, I get into that habit too, Beck, and we must get out of that habit. In fact, let's do a quick save right now, just to be on the safe side. But I fall into that habit as well, Beck, don't worry. Sniper Girl says to Beck, it's not good. Smurfberry says, I leave the autosave on, but once my scenes get heavy enough that it will take 10 seconds, I save, just have to turn it off. I prefer to have it off to begin with instead of turning it on and off, but that's probably a good system and solution, Smurfberry, as well, just to be on the safe side. Sniper Girl says I'm in the opposite. I tend to save too often. Well, and you guys have watched me work now over the years. I save incrementally, so I don't oversave the same file all the time. Once I've done a decent amount of changes, I create a new save file with a revision number. So, you know, revision 1 to revision however many I get up to. Once I've finished the model, then I go back and delete all the old revisions and just keep the last one. I do that because it's not unheard of for a save to corrupt the previous save, you know what I mean? So just to be on that safe side, I don't save over the same file name all the time. I always increment it up. It's always a good habit to get into, just in case, because if you get a corrupted file, master file, then that's all that work destroyed. You can't access it. At least if you increment it and one of them corrupts, you can go back to the previous file version. So it's sort of like a good way to work. Beck says, better safe than sorry, that's for sure. And Sniper Girl says she saves too often. Android Lust says ZBrush could take over 30 seconds to save if you leave save history on. Sniper Girl says to Beck, yeah, true. Can eat up a lot of hard drive space. Yeah, it does. That's why you got to remember to go back and and delete the old revision numbers after you've finished the project. Otherwise, you will eat up all your hard drive space. Smurfberry says, my folder for the blue plant is 115 gigabytes. There you go. It's not hard to start eating up all that hard drive space. And I see you're on the server, Aiko. Good to see. Like I said, Aiko, there's a gallery section if you want to show off your work. There's a portfolio demo reel section where you can post links to your ArtStation or portfolio. There's of course a tutorials and tips section which has a lot of tutorials and stuff. Everything ranging from photogrammetry to UE4 to 3D stuff to, it's a whole range of different tutorials in there. You can also see my stream schedule and stuff there, and anytime I post to social media it will show up in the social media channel. And just saying as well, if you're a sub to my channel, then subscribers have their own chat on Discord as well. Beck says, I never make new save files, I only ever have one save file. No, I would advise not to do that. If you can get into the habit of doing incremental saves, just in case you get a corrupt file, and it does happen, trust me. You know, you can spend 4 weeks doing a project just for the file to become corrupt, and then all of that work is cactus. You got to start all again. No one likes doing that. So if I pull up on the position gradient here, you see I'm pulling in more dirt. You sort of see it through here. It's probably the most noticeable. So if I turn my dirt layer off, you can see what it's actually adding to the model. And I do want some dirt because this is an object that sits outside and it will have collected a lot of dirt. Okay. Let's move down to the next one. We didn't actually do anything special with the smart materials here, so let's just reapply them. Let's filter again by my. We want to make sure we're in the right texture layer, which will be this one, I believe, up here maybe. Yes. And this one will be my small columns. And again, I'm just waiting for Substance here to catch up and compile the shader. Smurfberry says there are a lot of large files in there. Once it's finished, I'm going to delete a lot of the older files, but for now I'm keeping them just in case I need to go back for some ungodly reason there. That's a smart move, Smurfberry. Smart man. I'm the same. I don't delete them until the project is done, and then I usually keep the last 2 just to be on the safe side. So I do my project like the Temple of the Winds, let's say, the one we're doing now. I think I'm up to incremental version 31, or maybe 33 I think at the moment. What I'll do after the project is done is I'll go back and I'll delete everything except the last 2 saves, and I'll keep 2 saves. But I won't do that until the project is done. Until then, they all sit on the hard drive. Android Lust says to Beck, one save file would make anxiety shoot through the house. I couldn't do it either. Don't do that, Beck. Try not to do that. IK says, awesome, cool. IK says, distracted at the moment, but I'll look at everything over, let us know. You do it at your own leisure. It's all there. Just whenever you want to check it out, you check it out, IK. Galen says, wow, even my high poly spaceship models are not 115 gig. Beck says, I think you've just had a panic attack watching my saving workflow. Sniper Girl says, I've lost 10 incremental saves on the van before. How did you lose them? You shouldn't be so careless. Yeah, and again, you know, the more incrementals you have, the safer you are. But I generally don't do a new incremental save until I've done a decent amount of changes, and then I'll do a new incremental save. I don't do it like every time I just change one thing. Maybe once I've changed 5 or 6 things, then I'll do an incremental save. Andrew Glass says, I don't know how you managed 115 gig part. I don't either. Sniper Girl says to Beck, that's probably true. Smurfberry says the individual files are like 500 meg to 2.8 gigabyte. There are 554 files. Well, there you go. Actually, I'm not sure how big the Temple of the Winds max file is. I think it might be about 1.5 gigabytes. Each version is about 1.5 gigabytes. Beck says, I know it probably for reasons, but my OCD is going mad, and all those, with how those poles aren't centered. Yeah, they're not centered because part of the, we'll jump back into the temple, I'll show you. It's because they have to line up with the top of the column, not the bottom, and once and half of the columns are actually inside of the main column. So you'll see what I mean when we jump back. Sniper Girl says, between all the van files, I have over 500 incremental saves. Android Lust says those those files are all centered for a reason. That's exactly right. Android Lust knows. Android Lust knows. Like I said, when I jump back into Max, you'll see why. The last one here, we want to throw these tiled column smart material I created down. Sniper Girl says, data corruption, saved out just fine, went to load. Oh, that's why you're doing it, data corruption. Saved out just fine, went to load it, and it gave me an error. Wouldn't let me load in the rest of the way. Yeah, and again, the more incremental saves you have, the less chance you're going to have of a problem like that happening. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. And it crashed again. We did do a save, so that's fine. You know what? I'm wondering whether it's this plugin. This plugin is very dodgy sometimes. I didn't make the plugin. It's free to download. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually open up the file directly. I'm not going to go through the plugin. Let's see if we have better luck that way. I'm just going to remember what it's called. What is it called? I'll know it when I see it. No, I won't. Let me jump back into Max and see what that object is called. It is called Large Main Column Deco. Large Main Column Deco. Let's open the Substance project up directly. Sniper Girl says, Android Lust, I don't remember what happened a while ago. Android Lust was asking what was the error. So you see we have our project. All we did was add the smart material to the column, so let's just redo that. And I'm definitely going to restart my machine after the stream. Let's do a save. Let's move to the bottom and add the other smart material. And there we go, no crashes. I really think it's that plugin in Max that's the problem, to be honest with you. But I'll restart the machine after the stream just to be on the safe side. Sniper Girl says, only lost 6 hours worth of 6 hours. God, I'd be devastated if I lost 6 hours worth of work. Man, I would not be happy. We could try re-adding the moss to the column bases. Should we risk it? Let's do a quick save and let's risk it, shall we? I like to live dangerously. We are starting to get quite a complex shader network going on here, so it is starting to push the program, I think. Let's find the column. There we go. And because you see it's taking a little while here to load in the to compile the shader. So we're starting to push substance a bit. That and the fact too that I haven't made those adjustments to the TLD or TDL, whatever the adjustments algorithmic recommends you make to your registry. I haven't done that, so that could cause a problem as well. Again, let's do a save. Let us copy the moss layer. Let's move down again to the columns at the bottom. Let's paste the layer in and see if the program crashes. Galen says maybe you need to switch and start giving the hamster espresso. Oh dear. Android Lust says, well, better than 2 days worth of work. That's on the bright. Well, that's true. Oh man, 2 days. I would be devastated. Snappery says, RAM is passing mem test. Good to hear. Going to run it through the tests again overnight just for the sake of being thorough. Tomorrow I shall photogram all the things. You do all the things. You do that photogrammetry on all the things. Okay. And now I just want to see what's going on here. So you can see what it's actually added quite a lot of moss. I don't know if I'm going to keep it on there or not. Let me play with the values and I'll decide. But you did notice the program did not crash. So that leads me to believe that the problem is with that plugin, which would not be the first time. I can't complain, it's free. I mean, you know, I can complain, but I shouldn't. Good to hear RAM is passing mem tests though, Smurf. Galen says TLDR. it's TDL or something. Basically, it's a setting that basically when your graphics card, when the operating system thinks your graphics card is stalled, it restarts the driver or something. It does something to the graphics card to restart something. And algorithmic Adobe now, let's call it what it is. It's not algorithmic, it's Adobe now. Adobe recommend that you change a value to make that timeout longer, so that because it takes quite a while for these substances to be compiled, and the operating system thinks the graphics card is stalled, so it restarts it, which messes up substance compiling its shader. So that's the reason. I just don't like messing with that sort of thing. I shouldn't have to. They should fix their program. Make it so it compiles faster, or make it so I don't have to change my registry. Save. Like I said, save. But you see it didn't crash. So I think the problem is the plugin, to be honest. I'm just going to make some changes and then decide if I want to keep moss on this or not. So if I pull back on the level of the moss, so I've only got some moss growing in the nooks and crannies here underneath and around the bottom. Let's see what the grunge will give us. The grunge breaks the moss up. I'll move in here. Pull back on the grunge, we're getting more of the moss being brought in. Pull up on the grunge. And the moss is a bit more spotty. So let's go halfway. Ambient occlusion all the way, ambient occlusion curvature. Let's just pull in maybe a little bit of the moss toward the top. So let's just pull it back a little bit more. Just going to pull up a bit more on the grunge to remove some of that moss. The top-down gradient. Let's sort of go pull back here and have a look at this overall. Ideally, I really should have chosen a different texture for these top pieces of the column. They really shouldn't be tile like that. They should be something else. I may come back and do that when we come back to the project, but for now we might leave it the way it is. I think I'll leave the moss on there as well. Why not? Why not? Let's do a save. Let's do an export as well. So let's export our textures. Now I'm going to export these at 4K. I'm going to reuse the same texture on all of the large columns around the outside of the temple. So one 4K will be fine. Well, it's actually 3, but I'm going to make them, actually, I tell a lie. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just zoom out here and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this large one 4K. I'm going to make these ones 2K. So that should be enough. If it's not, we can come back and we can change it. So column top will be 4K, but these other two will be 2K. Let's export that. I don't know why I have this habit of sort of sliding to the side when I'm working at my desk. It's bad. I've got to make sure I sit up straight. Occupational health and safety would have a fit if they saw the way I work and sit at home when I'm working. They would have a fit. People at work would have a fit. Okay. Let's just do one more save before we close down Substance Beta. And let's jump back into Max. Let's open up our materials here. Create a DirectX shader. Make it interactive. Load up our materials, so we'll start with the normal map. And get to the right folder here. Large main column, is that the one? No, yes, large main column deco, that's the one. Okay, now this is going to be interesting. A DirectX shader only allows me to add one material at a time. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to create a multi-material based on DirectX shaders. So let's start with the large main column. None of the other objects so far that we've done have been multi-material, they've all been a single material. But because these new pieces we're creating, I broke them up into 3 separate material layers to make it easy for me to texture it up. That means we're going to have to create a multi-material. And I think we can do it. I haven't done one actually, so we'll find out. Let's get the color. Actually, I also forgot to make sure that I overrode the gamma. Did I override the gamma? No. There we go. We'll do the color map. And the metallic map. And lastly, the roughness map, which is this one, I believe. Yes. Okay, now I'm also just going to pull in the bitmap so I know what that DirectX shader is for. This one here. Let's just move this down here away from these so I don't get confused as to what's going on. We need another DirectX shader now. And we'll move along to large main column bases. So we want the color map. Did I grab the wrong one then? Normal map, color map, metallic map. I'm just making sure I got the right texture here. Roughness map. Don't you crash, Max? We didn't do any work that... There we go. It'd be just my luck, you know. The roughness map. And let's just pull in the bitmap, which will be this one. And finally we need one more for the columns. And I forgot to override the gamma, so I'm just going to do that real quick. Chag, it's good to see you, Chag. Sorry, I've been concentrating on what I've been doing. How are you, Chag? I'm going well. I hope you're well. It's good to see you. I hope you're well, Chag. Color map. Let's bring the color map in, which will be this one. Yes. Chag says, no problem, my man, doing great. Good to hear you're good. I am good, yes. And it's good to hear you're good too. Let's bring in the metallic. I was saying to the guys, this project we're working on, we may have to put on hold. So next week I'll probably be working on the House on the Hollow in UE4. So I can get that build ready and done. It's not ready, but I need to get a build done, so I need to do some optimization. So that's basically what we'll be doing. Some asset optimization in UE4. But it'll give you guys to have a look at the game level again, because I haven't worked on it since the middle of last year, so... On stream, that is. Yeah. I have been working on it, but not on stream. Let's bring in the bitmap so we know what this DirectX shader is. It'll be this one here. Again, I'm just going to double check I did override the gamma on these. Yes, good. Okay. Should I do a save? I think I should. Just going to do a quick save here. And this is quite a large... a heavy scene, so it's going to take max just 20 seconds or so to save out. Okay. Max is still saving. Better to be safe than sorry. We don't want it to crash again. I don't want to have to set up these shaders again. And yeah, each save, incremental save of this project, I think they're about 1.5 gigabytes, so they are quite large. Because it's a pretty full-on model, with lots of textures. There we go. Alright, let's see if we can... Actually, before we do that, I've got to make sure I turn these on. I added them, but I haven't turned them on. I need to do that. So let me change this from 0 to 1. And do the same for these two. Good. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to make these unique, so I'm just going to make a small change to the node graph. All I'm doing here is really changing the number of lights that are affecting the, I'll make it 2. I'm just going to call this one LG Deco Column A. I'm just going to go A, B and C. I'm not using these, but I need to save them out so it remembers, otherwise it won't remember. Make it unique, open the shader, change it to 2 lights, export the graph, should have copied the name, because I can't remember what I called it. Oh man. There we go. It was just called A. So we're just going to call this one B. I'm just going to copy that name so I don't have to try and remember it again. And let's do the last one, which is this one down here. Sniper Echo, it's good to see you, buddy. I see you posted in the Discord about getting an ArtStation account. You should, but I can't talk because I only got one this year myself. So. But they are good to have, particularly if you want to showcase your work. I have my own website though, so it was never really an issue for me showing my work, but it's always good to have it on a site where a lot of people will visit. Sniper says, yeah, I don't really class myself as an artist, to be honest, but everybody's an artist, come on. None of that's business. None of this not an artist business. Everybody is an artist. Everybody. Andrew Lust says, hey mate, Smokeberry says I am a meat popsicle. Let's see if we can do a multi-sub object. Now again, I don't know if I can do it with the DirectX shader, so this will be a learning experience for all of us. Because I've not actually used them before. We just need 3, we don't need 10. No, I've never used a multi-sub object for a DirectX material, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not doing a very good job of it. Okay. We have our object selected. Let's see if we can assign our multi-sub object. Yeah, I thought that might happen. It's assigned the correct one for the top, but it hasn't assigned the correct one for these two, so I just need to get this into a position where we can see them. So it's this one, and it is... I think it's this one here. Let's see if we swap them around. There we go. Okay. All right. So we should just be able to reuse this same texture on all of these large column pieces now. We're not going to. This gives us this DirectX shader in Max gives us a good idea of what the PBR material looks like, but it's going to look slightly different when we take it into Eon View and set up proper PBR materials. The DirectX shader is just showing us in the viewport what it may look like. It's not going to look exactly like this when we actually do the final render. But it gives us a good approximation, I guess. Better than just throwing the texture down without seeing the normal map and stuff, so. Yeah, Andrew Dust says you're an artist. Yeah, just right, everybody's an artist. Come on, none of this I'm not an artist business. Everybody's an artist. Even if you just do programming, that's still an art form, in my opinion. So I'd still call you an artist. Let's jump out of isolation mode. So yeah, even programmers are artists. Everybody's an artist in my book. Okay, so I want to reuse this texture on all of these column pieces. They're large enough that they're not really going to be, we're not going to notice that they're being reused. Just before I do that though, again, I'm just going to do a quick save. because I'm paranoid. So yeah, the plan of action again, for anyone that's joined that doesn't know what I'm going to be doing next week, we're going to put this on pause. Next week I'm probably going to jump back into UE4 and do some stuff on the House on the Hollow for that game. And then we'll come back to this to finish the remaining texturing and do the beauty renders. It's only going to take me a week or two to do the optimization for the game, so... Mercury says it's not paranoia if the software is actually out to get you. That's right. You see what I mean here, Bob? I don't know if you guys can notice my mouse is a bit sluggish. That's what I mean by Max has been a bit sluggish this morning. Don't know what's going on. And it has crashed 3 times, so that's why I'm saving regularly now. So let us assign the texture to these other column pieces. This one back here. Now I could select them all and do it at once, but I don't want to risk the program crash. So I'm just taking it nice and easy for Max, so it sort of, you know, doesn't freak out all at once. But yeah, generally I'd select them all and then just assign the texture to all of them. But that's the reason I'm just being a bit careful. And we have the final 2 over here. Come on, Max, don't do that. There we go. Because, man, it's sluggish. My mouse is sluggish for some reason. And it's only, I've only noticed it, well actually I didn't notice it yesterday, so maybe it's something with Windows. It's the only thing I can put it down to. Okay, so we've reassigned the same texture to all of our column pieces, but because they're, I'm just going to select something so Max has something to lock onto while I do a rotation. People are not going to notice that we've reused the same texture on all of our assets. Oh yes, we're getting back to why the columns weren't centered. So if I sort of zoom in here and we have a look, they're not centered because the columns actually butt up against these large central pieces. And part of the column is actually inside of those. So that's the reason that they weren't centered. I think Beck was saying that was driving him nuts. That's the reason for that. So what should we work on next? Let's do a quick save. Why am I sliding over? Sit up, Philip. You know, I think it's because I have one arm on an armrest and the other arm not. I'm going to keep both my arms on my armrest. Android Lust says 5 to 6 weeks. What's 5 to 6 weeks, Android Lust? I need to jump back into the UE4 project to get a build done that I can send to NVIDIA. And I've been working on stuff and my programmer's been working on stuff. I've got the guy doing the music stuff at the moment for the game, off stream, to get things ready for the build, the initial build. I was never planning on submitting a build this early. But NVIDIA sort of contacted me and said, oh, we'd really like to see a build. So they sort of put me in a spot. So I've got to actually make a build, get a build ready. Because the game is not due to be released until October next year. So at the end of next year, around Halloween time. That was always the plan. They sort of threw a spanner in the works when they said, oh, we really want you to get a build to us now. Android Lust says 5 to 6 weeks to optimize the House on the Hollow. No, it shouldn't take that long because I'm hoping we can use the tools that Epic Games have built into the engine, because they did actually build tools to do optimization. So what I'm planning on doing is doing some lotting inside the engine and seeing if I can use their merge tool to actually reduce the number of draw calls or the number of textures from, because some of those assets, some of the furniture has 6 draw calls, like 6 different textures on them. More than 6 draw calls, because it's got metallic, it's got normal maps. So, you know, those draw calls really start to add up. But there is a tool, a merge tool inside of Unreal that I'm hoping we can use to actually condense those 6 draw calls to 1. We'll look at that next week. I haven't had a chance to actually even look at that sort of stuff. I've been doing programming blueprint stuff recently inside the game. But so we'll look at that next week on stream. I'm hoping I can use that. And if I can, it shouldn't take that long for us to start to do some optimization on the stuff. There are a lot of assets because there's a lot of furniture in that building. But with the tool, it should make it go by more quickly. So hopefully anyway. Sniper Girl says to Android Lust, no more like 1 to 2 years. Sniper Echo says, Phil, what version of the engine is it on? I updated the engine yesterday. It's on 4.22.3. So I'm using the latest version of the Unreal Engine. Now, Epic did release version 4.3, I think it is, which has the new Chaos Destruction, but that's a preview build. And I'm not moving to a preview build. I want a state of a stable build. So I'm on 422.3. There is 423 available to download as a preview if you want to play with the new chaos physics that's in the Unreal Engine. And it is very cool. Incredibly cool stuff. The physics looks amazing. So yes, long story short, 4.22.3 is what I'm on. Andrew Lust says, was being generous. You both get a Phil slap for that. Both you and Sniper Girl get a Phil slap. Sniper Echo says the texture baker tool rendered. Yeah, it's the merge tool. I'm going to use it not the way it's intended to be used. Apparently, the merge tool was meant to actually merge geometry together. So you had a bunch of meshes. You want to merge them together into one. That's the tool I'm going to use to do the optimization on the draw calls. So I'm going to use it to do a texture merge as opposed to a mesh merge. Mesh merge. Say that 10 times real quick. Sniper Girl says, I can't wait until 4.3. Want to build an intact building, destroyed the hell out of it with rockets and add to my... Yeah, it's incredibly cool. If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, if you go to the Epic Games YouTube channel, at GDC this year, they gave it to the software developers, software guys in charge of doing Chaos, which is their new physics engine, gave a talk and did a demonstration, and it is amazing. Real-time destruction. It's just amazing. Somebody actually asked me, we had a question in chat last week as to whether you can actually go inside of those buildings like you can in Battlefield, say, because you know, Battlefield 4, I think it is, you can destroy one of those high-rise buildings, and one of the guys in chat said, oh, but you can actually go in the building. You can do, I'm pretty sure you can do that with Chaos as well. So you make your building, which you can actually run through as a player while it's being destroyed around you. And it just looks amazing. It's amazing. Amazeball. Sniper says, yay, I didn't get slapped. No, you didn't get slapped. You've been good, Sniper Echo. Yet? That's right. Sniper Echo says, Phil, there's a render to texture which does exactly what you want there. It bakes all the textures on an object to one texture at the resolution you want. Where is that function, Sniper Echo? Is it in the mesh itself? Are you talking about that? The inside of, you know, in Unreal, when you double click your static mesh and it opens up in a separate window. Is that what you're talking about? Is it there? I thought that was just for lodding, because I noticed a bake to texture for lodding. But no, I'm actually talking about the mesh merge tool. Trying to do a merge of the textures using the mesh merge tool. But I have seen that option in the mesh, with the mesh browser. But I assume that was for lodding, because I'm pretty sure it says lodding. I'll have to double check. We can look at that next week when we jump into Unreal. What are we going to texture up next? Tell you what, let's do this. I was actually the tile, so I'd like to get the tile in so we can start getting a bit more color happening to give us a better idea of how things are starting to blend together. Sniper says I can't remember the exact tool. I think it's a blueprint tool in the engine source. Okay, I'll check it out. Also, I can't touch it. I will check that out, but I do know that you can use the mesh merge tool. It was never created for this to do what I want it to do, but it can be, apparently it can be used for it. So we'll see how we go. We'll see what sort of job it does. I'm always sus with using an automated tool because it never does as good a job as somebody doing it by hand. But if it saves time, then I'll use it. And if it does a good job, I'll use it because it's going to save a huge amount of time if I don't have to do that sort of thing manually. Yeah, let's work on the tile. Let's bring the tile in because that's going to start to introduce a bit more color. So let's tempt fate with this plugin again, shall we? Large terrain base, large terrace base. I can't read. That naming is correct. We did a save, so that's all good. Let's send it to substance. Okay, it always complains the first time. That's fine. Let's do it again. Okay. Now, and we're going to use the smart material that I made up for the tile. I made this tile up before we started the project, or just when we started the project, but we haven't used it. So now is the time to use it. Let's bake out our texture maps, though. I thought adding the tile, because we're probably going to have to pause the project, is a good way for you guys to get at least an idea of what the thing is going to look like when we come back to it to finish it. Sniper says, yeah, I think the tool works very similar, although I'm not sure it handles concave objects. Okay. Well, I'll check it out. Like I said, next week we can have a look at it if we're jumping into Unreal. Which we probably will. Alright, let me have a look at my materials here, because I did create one specifically. I used Substance Alchemist to make up a new substance. So I've just got to find it. Because I can't remember what I called it. And don't think I put my in front of it, so that's the problem. Because you guys know, when I make my own stuff, I put my in front of it so I can filter it out quickly. I don't think I did that. No, it's this one here. I did put my in front of it. I tell a lie. Now let's find the right layer, the top layer here. And let's drag that down. Now I've got to decide how large I want these tiles to be. So I'm just going to play with the scaling a little bit. Yeah, I don't want the circles to show up, so I mean I don't mind the half circle being here necessarily. So yeah, even though this material looks like it's only one, I actually made it in Substance Alchemist, and it uses like 4 different substances that have been altered. So even though, yeah, it's not just one substance, there are a few, but it's been saved as one substance. I might just not have the circles there to begin with. We'll see what that looks like. I'm just going to do this by hand because it's starting to get a bit fiddly. The slider is very imprecise, that's the word I'm looking for. So 1.4 is a bit too much. Let's get a 1.35. No, it's still a bit too much. 1.32. Still a little bit too much. Probably back to 1.3, I think. 1.3 will be good. Now the sides here. What do I want to put there? I want to put like a stone, I think. A dark stone. I'll know it when I see it. Again, I'm just going to make these larger so they're a bit easier for me to see. So So yes, don't think I just grabbed a substance and put it down, because I've said to you guys all along, you know, you want to do more work than that. This is one that I made up in Alchemist. This ceramic tile, I've used this before. I used this actually in the House on the Hollow for some of the outside terraces. This could be interesting. Let me make sure I'm on the right layer. Let's change our scale. Let me change some of these parameters. Turning the frame off because I don't want the frame there. Now I'm not set on whether I'm going to use this tile here, because this could be a bit busy. I'm worried that when we bring it into the model, it's going to start to look a bit too busy for where it's going. Yeah, I am starting to wonder. I think it's going to be too busy. Yeah, it's going to be too busy. Let's find something else. Let's have a look at this. I want something that's not too busy. Substance crashed. Wow. That is insane. Anyway. That's okay. We only made one change. 1.3 is the number I need to remember. Sniper says, I might be wrong, but if you import any textures using Substance plugin, I think there was an option in there to merge the textures. I must check that plugin out. I don't recall seeing that personally, Sniper Echo. You might be right, but I don't recall seeing that option when I imported my textures, and they are Substance textures. But they're not real-time textures. They're not like, I'm not using an SVZAR file. I'm using an exported texture map, so for the furniture. So it might not be available in that anyway. It might just be like I'm using an SVZAR file for the landscape. I'm using Substance landscape textures. Excuse me for a sec, guys. So yeah, I'm using Substance landscape textures, but not for the furniture. I actually exported them as texture maps, bitmaps for the furniture. Okay, let's find that Substance again. Let's bake it out again, actually. I really think it's my machine needs to be restarted. I'm just going to mute my mic while I clear my throat. It's the wrong one. It's the wrong one, isn't it? Yes, I think it is. I don't know what one. Hopefully that should be better. There we go. Okay. Bill is patient zero, Smooper says. That's right. It's just when you talk constantly, sometimes your voice can go a bit weird. And I never shut up, so my voice is always weird. Andrew Love says Substance is broken today. I don't think it's Substance. I think it might be my machine needs restarting, because Max was crashing this morning as well. So I don't want to blame Substance. I think it's my machine. Needs to restart. I blame Windows. That's what I blame. So let's make sure again we're on the right layer. The top layer. That's good. Let's throw down our Substance. We're going to change the scaling on our Substance to 1.3. And now we're going to find another one that we can throw through the side here. Let's jump to the right layer. And I need something that's not going to be too busy. And the reason for that you'll see when we jump back into Max. So my original idea was just to have a dark stone. I got distracted by the tile. My initial, like I said, initially it was just to be a dark stone. So that's what I'm looking for. We could go with a brick if we wanted to. Just a plain brick. Do I want to though? That's the question. Don't want a rock. It's a road. Now this is interesting. This is a tile, but it's a very dark tile. Let's have a look at this one. Because why not? Let's just play with the scaling a little bit. It's interesting. It's dark, so that's good. It won't be distracting. Let's see what we can play with here. What's it give us? Well, okay, we've got a wetness amount here, which I don't really want. I don't want edge wetness because it's not laying flat; it's on its side, so you're not going to get water, hanging around. Water darkness. Again, we're going to pull that right back. So no water. We have a wetness distance. Depth blur amount. Let's not make it too dark. I'm still not completely sold on whether I'll use it, but I think it might be interesting. Maybe. We'll see. Andrew Luss says, you were sounding like a pack-a-day smoker. I know. I don't know if you guys have experienced it when you've been talking for a while. Dear. You get like... I think your throat gets dry. I think that's the problem. Let me have a drink. It's not coffee. Yeah, your throat tends to get dry. I think that was the problem. But you're right, I was sounding like a pack-a-day smoker. Galen says, paint it black and say it's obsidian. Yeah, initially I was thinking a stone, a dark grey stone. That was my initial plan for this part of the model, but I just get distracted by different things. Because we have this one as well, which is similar to this one. Very similar. This one could be good too. Make it out of carved abalone smokers. Let's do a save, because I don't think I did a save, so let's do that while I'm deciding. Spoiled but yours. So now this one might look cool too. Yeah, I'm just going to turn that off for a minute, and I'm going to throw this one down. Let's again play with that scale. No, I changed my mind. I don't like that at all. At all. But we do have this one, which is similar to the other one, but just a bit different. Similar but different. Again, let's play with the scale. Oh yeah, no, I don't We could rotate it though. Let's see what it looks like rotated. $90. I think this one's going to start to get a bit busy. There's a bit too much contrast going on. Yeah, don't like it. What else do we have? No, again, I want to try and avoid anything looking, it looks a bit too busy. Keep it simple. Stupid. Kiss. Need a good normal map for that. Smurfberry says, I think we might be about to get hit by a big ugly thunderstorm. Oh, that's one of the things, the only thing I love about summer are thunderstorms. I love a good storm. Love it. Love thunder and lightning. Particularly at night. It's creepy. The flashes of lightning through the window and the thunder sound. Sniper Girl says to Smurfberry, there's a couple coming my way too. Yeah, depending on how bad they are, they can be a problem. One of these concretes might look interesting as well. Not that one. This one might be cool. Let's have a look at this. Again, let's play with that scale. Again, we're going to have to do some rotation. Pull back on our scale now because it's a bit too much. Let's see what parameters we've got here to change. The concrete color, let's make it darker. Not quite that dark. The paint color, let's make that a little bit darker as well. Okay, and the moisture color. Let's try pulling that up a little bit. Android Lost says thunderstorms are fun until the power goes out. Well, that's very true. It's always fun until someone gets hurt. I'm just going to change the offset here because I don't like the way we're seeing that repeating pattern. That little nick. It's damage. We can actually remove the damage. That might be a better idea. Yeah, we'll remove the damage altogether. Now I know we are seeing a repeating pattern, but we're not going to notice that, and you'll see why when I bring it back into max. Sniper Girl says, yeah, sucks when it goes out. Was without power for a few days, for a couple of weeks ago. I actually heard New York lost power, didn't they, a couple of days ago? A section of New York near Times Square went out. It was all over the news. CNN were talking about it ad nauseum. Which is, you know, I can understand it's a big deal. People got caught in lifts and all that sort of stuff, which is never nice. It's just not nice not having power to begin with. You don't realise everything. We need power for everything. Sniper Girl says, high heat, no power, torture. Yeah. Android Lost says, no 3D. That's right. Sniper Girl says, yeah, part of the torture. Android Lost says, yep, New York did, yeah. So New York lost power. I prefer this to that other dark tile, so I'm just going to remove the underlying black tile we started with because I want something just a little bit that's a little bit plainer. I'm going to do a quick save. I do want to add a dirt layer, so I'm just going to add a mud layer again. If I can find my mud. I should move some of these into, pardon me, into a subfolder to make it easier, because I always use like things like the mud. Let me just move up to the right layer there. There we go. Again, let's just play with the scale a little bit. I'm going to turn off the height and the normal. And we're going to darken it up. And we're going to throw down a smart mask. And for this one, let's go with... Let's try this. Let's try dusts. It's hard for me to choose. Let's try this one, the scratches one. Sit up straight, boy. Snappy Girl says, "Have you tried not smoking?" I don't smoke. It's nothing to do with smoking. I don't smoke. Just going to move in here so we can see it a bit better. It's because I talk too much. I'm, you know, my mouth is never closed. That's the problem. Just trying to see what it's doing here. I can see what it's doing. I don't like what it's doing particularly. So I'm just going to remove this smart mask and I'm going to choose another one. Because I don't like that one. Let's go with this one, the surface worn one. Just going to pull up a bit on the contrast. Play with my balance a little bit. And let's play with the mixing of the textures a little bit. Maybe the ambient occlusion. And the curvature, I'm going to pull that up a bit. And I'm actually going to just reduce this a little bit here from 100, so it's not quite so strong. So if I turn it on and off, we can see what our mud layer does. Just adds a bit of dirt over everything. I'm just going to also darken it up a little bit more. Bit better. I'm going to jump back into the concrete and I'm going to reduce the height information a bit because I think their height is just a bit too high. So the height range, let's just remove that a little bit so it's not quite so bumpy. I think that should probably be good for what we want. Let's do a save. Let's just do that one more time to make sure. Let's export. Now I'm going to export. This is really large. This is the entire terrace basically. So I'm going to do a 4K. And I might do a 2K for the side. Although, yeah, I think I'll do a 4K and a 2K. And if we need to up the side to 4K, we can come back. So I'm just going to work out which one is which. So B is the side. So the side one will make 2K. Let's do an export. Yeah, sure, LOL. Sniper says every smoker ever. I'm not a smoker, guys. I used to smoke. years ago. I think we had this conversation before. I was talking to Legmog about it. How is Legmog, by the way? I haven't seen him for ages. I hope he's okay. Because Legmog was saying he's a vapor and he's trying to give up vaping. I used to be a smoker, but I haven't smoked for years, like 7 or 8 years now, because it's a bad habit and it's not good for your health. Again, let's just do a save. Let's close down the Substance Painter. Let's go into isolation mode so we can apply our textures more easily. Let's create those 2 new DirectX shaders. There. What's it called? It's called Large Terrace Base. Okay. Let's pull in, let's change it to interactive. Let's pull in the normal map. We're looking for a large terrace base. And then we want the, is this the color map? Can't remember. Yes, the color map. Yeah, I forgot to do the override. Let's make sure I do my override. Otherwise things will come out too dark. We want the metallic. Is that the metallic? No, it's the height. That's the metallic. And finally the roughness, which should be this one. And this one. We need one more, which is the sides, so another DirectX shader. Interactive. Sniper says, yeah, I haven't seen him in months. Actually, I hope he's doing okay. I hope so too. Yeah, it's been ages since I've seen him. Again, Legmog occasionally streams on Twitch. He's making a pilot episode. Galen actually is a streamer as well, who was in chat. You should check out his stream when he streams. Let's open up the normal map for this one. But yeah, no, I just recalled I hadn't seen him in quite a while, or heard from him in quite a while, so I hope he's good. Hope he didn't get into trouble going to meet that girl in Europe that he met online. Yeah, because that's always a good idea, isn't it? Look, nothing ventured, nothing gained, I guess. Andrew Dust says, we forgot to summon a Legmog. Sniper says, Sniper Echo says, dismiss. I've got to pay for my web hosting. Sniper says, yeah, there's a few times he just appears after we mention his name. That's true. Sniper Girl says to Android Dust, summoning isn't working. Are you out of batteries? She stole his kidneys, I bet, Smurfberry says. Well, you know, you can joke about it, but maybe not his kidneys, but, you know, people get into trouble meeting people online and going overseas. I see it on the TV. The TV doesn't lie to me. You're not saying the TV's lying to me, are you? You know, they get turned into drug mules and all this sort of stuff. Unknowingly, of course. I'm sure he's okay. He's a smart man. Andrew Luss says, I didn't fully charge it last night. Sniper Echo says, probably stole that other organ. What's it called? Heart or something? You're probably right. Or maybe he's just busy. That's you know, that's the other thing, of course. Maybe he's just busy. Let's make it... Actually, let's turn these on first, because we haven't turned them on yet. We've just loaded them up. Just want to get this one done. use metallic and use roughness. And let's turn these ones on. Use normal. Use color. Use metallic. Use roughness. We're going to make it unique. Open the shader. Change it to, we'll do 3 lights for these. Let's just do an export of the graph. I'm going to call it terrace tiles top, and the other one we'll call sides. And they're around the wrong way, but that doesn't really matter. Again, let's make this one unique. Open up the shader. Change it to 3 lights. Export the graph. And instead of top, we'll call this side. Okay, now let's create a multi-material. Set the number at 2. And let's hook these up. And assign it to the object. And they're around the wrong way, so let's flip them. Let's unhide everything. Okay, now I don't know that I actually, I don't mind the color, but I think the tiling might be a little bit large. I'm just going to rotate this around so I can have a look at it. Again, Max is being a little sluggish on me. What I'm going to do is, when we come back to texturing, because I'm going to texture up these half circles out here to the same texture, but I'm going to give these steps a different texture. And until we texture these up, I'm going to make a decision then. Well, I might even change the color a little bit. We'll see how we go. But at least we're starting to get a little bit more color happening in the model. Let's do a quick save. Sniper says, I know it's said it before, but he's one talented guy. No, Legmog is very talented. Sniper Girl says, starting to look really good, thank you. Sniper Girl says, you might actually finish it next year at this... Oh, shut up. Whoa. I think we might leave it there for today though, guys and girls. I'll be back on Monday next week, and I think next week what we're going to do is we'll probably put a pause on this project. Next week when we come back, we'll do some stuff in the Unreal Engine, and then we'll come back to this once I've done my optimization in the Unreal Engine, and we'll finish this model up and do the beauty renders. That's the plan. I'll see how I feel next week and how things are going. But I do want to thank you guys and girls very much for hanging out with me and for watching. I will be back on Monday next week. You guys and girls have a great weekend. Stay happy, healthy and safe, and hopefully I'll see you guys on Monday next week. You guys take care. See you guys.